Alright, what is up, guys? It's Camo Kid 556 back with another video. This one is going to be a little bit of a sad one. If you saw my video about my sister Sammy and the last day that she was alive, it's pretty similar to that one. This video is going to be in remembrance of my friends that have passed away. They were all service members, and I miss them a lot, and I really wish that I could have them back. They were incredible dudes. Like, if you could have battle buddies like them, you would be grateful for having them by your side and not anybody else. So I'm just gonna go over a couple fun stories that I have with each of them, because they're such great dudes, and I just really wish that I could have him back, and that they're doing okay up in heaven. So, the friend that I lost most recently, his name was Corey Underwood. He lived in Sealy, Texas, right outside of Houston. He was a Marine for 5 years. He was in administrative duties. I don't remember exactly what his MOS was, but he was just a really, really fun dude. I met him in welding school, and he was a good guy. He loved drinking. He loved going out and having fun in the fields. He loved shooting guns. He didn't really attend church a lot, but he was just a really chill guy. He never caused any problems. He was really outgoing, and if you got your truck stuck, there was no question on whether he was coming to help. He was going to come help you. You would call him, be like, hey, my truck is stuck in a ditch, and he would be like, all right, I'm on my way out. No questions asked. Not how far away are you, not what part of the state are you in, not like what kind of what are the road conditions, what were you doing to get yourself stuck. He was just out there, and he would pull you out, and he would get back on the road with you and try to race you back home. And one of my favorite memories with him is we went out on his dad's boat to go fishing, and we were catching a really, really good amount of bass, like largies. And he was like, man, it is so hot out here. Do you want to head in early? It's getting really hot. And I was like, nah, man, if you're hot, just jump in the water. It'll cool you off. And he goes, okay. And at this point, he's not wearing like swim shorts and a tank top and slippers. He is in fishing shorts, like cargo shorts, button-up fishing shirt, a sun hat, his polarized glasses, I think they were gaiters, and a pair of, what are they called? Those like slip-on, what are they called? I know they're called, they're boat shoes, but they're like slip-on boots that you can like, they're like hunting, they're like pull-ups. Not pull-ups, but like pull on like fishing shoes. What are they called? Hucks, I think. Like huck boots. And he's just like, all right. And he turns around, he puts his arms out like this, and he just backflops right into the water. And I was just like, man, this guy's gonna drown. He didn't even take his shoes off. Like, what is he doing? And he swims around for a little bit, and I was like, all right, I think you scared all the fish off with that. We can go back in now. And he was like, thank God, I need to change my clothes or else I would have been chafing the entire time. I was like, amen to that. And we drove back in. He backed the truck up, and he drove back to his dad's house soaked. Like, I don't even think he remembered to take like his phone and his wallet out of his pockets. He was soaked from head to toe. It was like, that's like one of my favorite memories of Corey. He was just a really funny guy. He passed away due to a unfortunate accident. It wasn't a suicide or anything crazy like that, like some of my other friends. He was driving back home and he fell asleep at the wheel and wasn't wearing his seatbelt, flipped his truck, and I don't know, he's just gone. It's really sad, but his funeral, we tried to keep it light, we tried to keep it fun as much as we could, at least, and everybody had a really good time remembering him and sharing stories and just having a party. He wouldn't want us to be sad over his death. He would have wanted us to keep having fun. So, I guess I'll get on to my next friend, who is also a Marine. His name was Blake Connor. He was 25 years old. From what he told me, he was a recon something or other. He deployed to Syria right at the tail end of like the ISIS conflict, when everybody was doing the counterinsurgency, I believe. When right when ISIS was starting to get on its back foot, like right when they were starting to like retreat. And he didn't really go into a lot of the stuff that happened. He was kind of quiet about it. He didn't like talking about his deployment and stuff. So he was a really quiet dude. He kept to himself. I met him due to Corey. Him and Blake grew up together, and they went to the same high school, and Blake and I became pretty close. They were like two peas in a pod. Everything Blake was, Corey wasn't, and everything Corey was, Blake wasn't. It was like they kind of combined. It made one just really, really cool person. But they were two people. Like, Blake was the one that was the guy that kind of, like, when everything was happening, he was just standing back, making sure that nobody got hurt. He was the one keeping everybody safe. He was kind of like the father figure, the watchful eye, even though he was younger than everybody else. He was like the he was the guardian. If you needed help, like, he was there just to, like, keep people safe. He was not the one to start a fight. That would have been Corey, but Blake, if things would have happened, he would definitely be the one to step in and either end it or make sure that it completely dissolved to the point where nobody would want to fight or have to fight anybody. He was the guardian. He was the soul, and Corey was more of the brain. Like, I miss him a lot. He was just genuinely a nice person, and he kept quiet. He made sure, like, even when I was going through my breakup, he was coming over and being like, "Hey man, you alright? If you ever need to talk, I'm here. Like, I won't respond. If you just need to vent, just let it all out. If you need to punch something, if you need to do something, just let me know. I'll be there." Just like, he was always there to help. Like Corey, just not as, like, physically. He was more of the mental part. Like, I remember one of my favorite memories with him was, it was like 2 days after I broke up with my ex. He came over with a crock pot just filled with pulled pork. And I was like, "What's up, man?" And he was like, "Nothing. Heard you went through a breakup. My mom always used to make me pulled pork whenever I got broken up with, and I feel like maybe just eating some good food might help you clear your head a little bit." And I was like, "Alright, thanks, man." And he came in, and we spent like at least 2 hours just talking back and forth, just like, "I wonder why she cheated on me." And he was like, "Only God knows, man." It was just like, "Well, why, what were the warning signs that I missed?" And he was just like, "Well, you can't really expect somebody to show you their warning signs all the time." And it's like, we just spent like 2 hours just going over the thing, and at the end of it, he was just like, "Look, I know you're going over it in your head, but there's nothing you can do about it now. I'm not saying you should move on, but I am saying that thinking about it is not going to help. And you should just try to focus on something else. Put your energy that your detective skills that you're using to try to figure this mystery out, it's not a good use of your energy. Put it somewhere else. Put it towards finishing welding school. Put it towards work. Put it towards your puppy dog. Put it towards something else. Anything else. Really. Just forget about it. Put it out of your mind. And he was the one that kept me from doing it. Honestly, he was the one that kept me from doing really stupid stuff like I had done in past relationships, like some of my other exes up in New Hampshire, like vandalism and doing stupid shit to like their friends or family members and stuff like that. He was the one that kept a level head for me and told me the truth. Like, this is not a good use of your energy. You don't need to do anything stupid. Just take that energy and put it somewhere else. And I miss that. I miss that a lot, because I'm going through more relationships now with some of the other people that I'm involved with, and it would just be so nice to have that person, Blake, here to tell me, look, you're not doing anything wrong. Just keep on pushing, and eventually something will work out. Because he just knew what to say. He was like one of my other friends, Benny. Shout out to you, Benny. Benny is just super, super wise. Like, he doesn't overthink stuff. He just tells it how it is, and whatever I need to hear at the moment, he makes sure that I hear it and that I don't get it confused with something else. They both have the first letter and their name being B. I really hope he's up in heaven, keeping everybody else safe. That's my one wish for all my battle buddies who have passed away. Especially the next person on the list, Ryan Larkin. He is the second person that I met when I came to San Antonio. Him and I met when I was, funnily enough, when I was going through all my court stuff last year. We met at the lawyer's office. I was sitting waiting to go into a meeting with my lawyer, and he was in the waiting room with me, and we were both checking out some of the gun magazines, and I was just like, we swapped magazines, and I was like, so you're into like shooting sports and stuff like that? And he was like, yeah, you could say that. I'm dealing with some stuff right now with my ex. And I was like, wow, me too. And he was just like, yeah, she's broken up with me, and she believes that the car that I bought for her is hers and not mine, even though the car's title is in my name, and blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of women that I know. And he was like, yeah, well, my name is Ryan. I said, I'm Noah. And he was like, nice to meet you. And I was like, what do you do for work? And he was like, I'm in the I'm former Navy. I currently work for a contractor here in Texas as a security guard. I was like, oh, cool. What part of the Navy? and he was like, I was in SEAL Team 3. And I was like, what? And he was like, I worked for the SEAL team. And I was like, what were you doing for them? And he was like, I was EOD for SEAL Team 3. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. And like we became really good friends after that. He was like one of the people that I really looked up to, and especially here in San Antonio, he was amazing. He was a family man. Him and his ex-wife were that, like, obviously he was divorced, but his ex-wife and his kids were still very close. I got to meet his ex-wife and his two daughters a couple months before he passed away, and he was just a really, really, I don't want to say rough, but he was just a very, very serious guy. Very on point, very, like, don't deviate. Stick to the task. And like when we met up a couple of times to go over like CQB and CQC tactics, and he taught me some like room clearing techniques. He taught me like pine corners. He taught me dynamic and offensive entries. He taught me like a whole bunch of stuff about how to like clear structures. And he was just a really, really, really like on point guy. He needed like structure, like kind of like I do. If I don't have something to do, my mind wanders, and he always he was like, he never had nothing to do, and I wish I could have had that. He never had nothing to do. If there was a free second in his day, he was either taking a nap or fixing something on his Jeep. And like, if he had nothing to do, like, he would just do stuff. Like, if he had nothing to do, he would take off the spare tire on his Jeep and put it back on, just to kill 5 minutes. He would unscrew all the lug nuts. He would take it off, and then he would lift it back up and put it back on and screw in all the lug nuts again, just to have something to do. He kept his mind occupied. He always had a task. And I try to carry that on for him, because the work I do right now, I'm constantly moving around. I'm constantly waving trucks in, getting people tools, getting people rods, getting people new equipment, gloves, like just a whole bunch of stuff. I'm constantly taking up tasks and doing stuff so that other people can continue to do their jobs with no interruptions while I'm at work. And I try to keep that going in honor of him, because he and also Blake and my other friend Samuel, passed away due to suicide. I don't think I completely explained how Blake passed away, and it's because it's very hard to say that somebody it's very hard to say that somebody hanged themselves, because you don't want to it just brings up stuff in your mind that, like, when I say he hanged himself, you can picture what I mean. And it's the same for Ryan and Samuel, sorry. He preferred to be called Samuel. Ryan, unfortunately, after getting home from his security job, he committed suicide in his truck via gunshot wound to the head, in the early hours of October. And it's just very sad, because he didn't have any, to me at least, he didn't look like he had anything wrong with him. He never really talked about war. He never went over any of the operations or anything he was in. He was just a very cool guy. He was the top. He was like, he was somebody that like, if my life had gone down a different path, he was the person I wanted to be. And I'm just sad that he's gone, because you don't like hearing that your friends have passed away due to suicide. And I mean, my friend Samuel, he preferred to be called Samuel. I don't want you guys hearing Sam and thinking of my younger sister. They were completely different people. Samuel, he was one of the people that I met when I first got to Texas back in 2023. We met at a place that I was working. It was a warehouse job that I had come down to Texas to officially move here. He was a really cool guy. We got to know each other a fair amount. And he was an Army Ranger. He was a very, very proud Army Ranger. Rangers lead the way. That's their motto. And he just exuded that. He was a leader. He took charge wherever he could. He made sure that everything was set up and that everything could be done smoothly, like always. And he was just a very, very fun and honestly very, very just outgoing person. He was one of the people that if you called him and said, "Hey, I was robbed, I was dumped off in a field out in the middle of nowhere, I need help," he would be on his way to you with guns, bullets, ski masks, and shovels. Because we're not just getting you out of the field, we're getting your money back, and we are killing whoever fucking did that to you. And we are burying them, and we are never going to rat each other out. I don't care if I just met you 2 minutes ago. I am helping you with this, and we are never, you don't have to repay me for anything. You don't have to give your life to me. You just shut up, dig, and let's get this shit over with and never talk about it again. He just, that's the type of person Samuel was. He carried himself so well. And one of my favorite memories with him was when we were working at the warehouse. I hate to say it because it's not okay, but we were working at the warehouse, and two of these guys got into it with each other, and I went over to try to break it up. I was like, "Hey man, we're here to work. We're not here to fight. Let's just go back to our stations. Let's hash this out some other time." And one of the guys, who was black, I don't want to make, I have no problem with black people, but for some reason, the tattoos and stuff that I have, for some reason, some of them think that I'm like a racist or white supremacist or something. But, like, he goes, "Hey, shut up, white boy, nobody's talking to you. How about you get white pride tattooed on your head? Or white power tattooed on your head, on your forehead." I was like, "What the fuck?" And Sam comes over and he was like, "Hey man, he's right. Just you go over there. You go over there. Fight it out some other time." And Sam, he's a big guy. When they saw me coming, they were like, "Oh, it's a big fat guy. We don't need to listen to him." But when they saw Sam coming, they were like, "Ooh, he's jacked. He's like 270 pounds soaking wet. He's built. And his muscles are popping out of his shirt. I'm not gonna fuck with this guy. This guy could kick my ass." So, like, he's just like, "Hey, you go over there. You go over there. We'll fight it out some other time." And they both did what he said, and I was like, "Man, did you hear that?" And it was just like, "Calm down, man. He doesn't mean anything by it. They're all really ignorant when it comes to white guys and tattoos." I was like, "Still, that's like racial profiling, isn't it?" And he was like, "Man, if I had a nickel for every time some guy came up to me and called me a white supremacist, I'd be a fucking millionaire by now. Don't be offended by it. Just keep doing your job. Get back to work." And I was like, "All right, cool." And I got back to work. Sam, like, we never talked about it again. Like, he just told me, "Hey, let it go. It's not worth getting angry over. He's stupid. The other guy's probably stupid. They can fight out whatever they were arguing about later. We have work to do. Let's just get it done so we can get the fuck out of here." And that's like one of my favorite memories of Samuel, because he was a leader. He took charge, and nobody fucked with him. Nobody, ever. Rangers lead the way. He was the example of that. And to all my battle buddies that I've talked about in this video, thank you so much for your service. I promise I'm trying to honor your memories as best as I can. You will all be remembered, and you might be gone, but you will never be forgotten. Thank you for your service. they were just great guys, and they're they are and they were very important to me and to many other people. And I just wanted to make a video in memory of them, because they were rays of light that were taken away from us, and if we had those rays of light back, the world would definitely be a different place for me and for many other people. So that was a very, very tough video to make for me. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. It really means a lot to have their stories told and for them to be remembered, because they're men that have affected my life in a very positive way, and I don't think they should be forgotten anytime soon. So, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you're new, and leave some names of people that you've lost who were military affiliated down in the comments. I would love to see how many other people have other fallen friends and battle buddies besides me, because remembering them is how you honor them the most, and I'm hopefully doing that with this video. Gone but never forgotten. So until next time, guys, I will see you when I see you. Peace.